Okay, let's just dive right in. In a world that's all about agile and hybrid work, the good old project management office, the PMO, is really at a crossroads. For a lot of leaders, it feels like a relic, right? A cost center that just slows everything down. But what if it could be your biggest strategic advantage? Today, we're going to explain exactly how to make that happen.
So here's the big question, isn't it? For so many executives, this is the core tension. On one hand, you've got the PMO, which is all about governance, structure, and knowing what's coming. And on the other hand, you have Agile, which is all about flexibility, speed, and changing on a dime. Can these two worlds actually work together, or are they just always going to be at odds?
Well, the proof is really in the pudding. A staggering 80%, let that sink in. 80% of high-performing organizations now see their PMOs as real value drivers. So it's not just possible, the absolute best companies are already doing it. The real question is, how are they pulling it off? To get you there, we're going to follow a pretty clear path in this explainer. We'll kick things off by digging into the core problem, what we're calling the PMO Paradox, and look at why doing nothing is so incredibly costly. Then we'll introduce the solution, the Agile-Savvy PMO. We'll break down the 6 essential capabilities you need, walk through a 4-phase plan to get it done, and finally, show you how to measure the kind of success that actually matters. All right, let's jump into that first piece of the puzzle, the PMO Paradox. This really gets to the heart of why the old rulebook just doesn't fly anymore in today's world.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly, doesn't it? On one side, you have traditional governance, which is built for stability. It wants rules and compliance. On the other side, you've got Agile, which demands constant change and speed. When you just smash these two together without a plan, it's a mess. This tension is exactly why figuring out a smart hybrid approach has become the #1 challenge and, frankly, the biggest opportunity for modern companies.
Okay, so what happens if you don't fix this? That brings us to our second point, the cost of staying still. Because, let's be clear, failing to solve this paradox isn't just some minor headache. It has real, measurable, and often painful consequences for the business. This quote just hits the nail on the head. This gets to the cultural problem. The moment your PMO gets branded as the process police, you're in trouble. Innovation gets choked out, and teams start seeing governance as this annoying hurdle to jump over, instead of a tool that helps them win. It creates this toxic us versus them mindset that just grinds progress to a halt. And that whole process police problem, it leads to some pretty spectacular failures. Just look at this data. A whopping 57% of project failures are because of communication breakdowns. 39% from bad planning. These aren't random accidents. These are the direct results of an old-school PMO that just can't keep up.
So, enough with the problems. What's the answer? Let's move to Section 3 and meet the hero of our story, the Agile-Savvy PMO. And this isn't just a minor update, it's a complete reimagining of what a PMO should even be.
Now, the most important thing to get here is that an Agile-Savvy PMO doesn't pick sides. It's built for the hybrid world we actually live in. It creates one single framework that can support a slow and steady traditional waterfall project, like building a factory, right alongside a super-fast Agile software launch, making sure both are delivering real business value. Okay, this all sounds great in theory, but how do you actually build one? Well, that brings us to Section 4, the 6 capabilities for success. And don't think of this as just a boring checklist. This is the blueprint, the actual architectural plan for a modern, high-performing PMO. First up, adaptive governance. This is all about ditching the rigid, one-size-fits-all rulebook. Instead, it's about smart oversight. It's about giving teams the freedom they need to move fast, while making sure everyone is still rowing in the same strategic direction. It's about trust and empowerment, not command and control. Second, and this one is a huge mindset shift, is value stream management. A traditional PMO asks, did we finish on time and on budget? But an Agile-Savvy PMO asks a totally different question. Did this project actually deliver real value to our customers and our business? You see the difference? The focus moves completely from outputs to outcomes.
Capability 3 is user-centric stakeholder engagement. Now that sounds a little corporate speak, but here's what it means. Treat your internal teams like customers. You literally design your processes, your reports, and your meetings around what they need, making it way easier for everybody to make smart decisions fast.
Number 4 is all about having a mastery of hybrid delivery models. The Agile-Savvy PMO becomes an expert guide. It helps teams pick the right tool for the job, whether that's Agile, Waterfall, or some mix, instead of trying to force every single project into the same box. It's all about flexibility within a smart structure.
Next up, advanced analytics and predictive insights. Okay, this is where the PMO becomes the strategic nerve center of the company. Instead of just reporting on what happened last month, it uses data, even AI, to predict future problems, spot risks before they blow up, and shift resources to where they'll have the most impact. It's about looking forward, not just back.
And finally, capability number 6, leadership in cultural and organizational change. And honestly, this might be the most important one of them all. The PMO evolves from being a process enforcer to a change champion, actively teaching the Agile mindset, helping teams level up their skills, and driving a culture of constant learning across the whole company.
So, we have our blueprint, those 6 key capabilities. But a blueprint is pretty useless if you don't know how to actually build the house, right? That brings us to Section 5, a practical 4-phase roadmap to make this whole transformation happen. The path forward is really clear and structured. You start by assessing where you are right now, no sugarcoating. Then you launch a pilot project on something important to get a quick win and build some buzz. From there, you scale that successful model across the whole company, and finally, you continuously optimize. Because this isn't a one-and-done project, it's a new way of operating. And get this, the data shows that following a structured approach like this has a 67% higher chance of success. That's huge. And now for our final section, we get to the question every executive on the planet asks, what's the payoff? Let's talk about measuring what truly matters. Because if you can't measure the impact, you can't prove the value. Simple as that.
This table just shows the difference so clearly. A traditional PMO thinks success as being on time and on budget. But an Agile-Savvy PMO measures success by the actual business value delivered, and whether you're hitting your big strategic goals. It's a fundamental shift from tracking activity to measuring real impact.
And this is what that real impact looks like to the people in the corner office. We're talking about tangible, bottom-line results, launching products faster than your competitors, getting better results from your innovation bets, seeing higher satisfaction from your customers and your own teams. And yeah, the ones that always get attention. Real, measurable cost savings and quantifiable revenue growth. This is the stuff that proves it was all worth it.
So, when you boil it all down, the big takeaway is this. We have to stop thinking about fixing the PMO as just another line item expense. As this slide says, it is a foundational, strategic investment in your company's ability to compete and win. It's building the very infrastructure you need to be agile.
Which really just leaves us with one final question to think about. When you look at your own organization, you have to ask yourself, right now, is your PMO a roadblock that's slowing you down? Or is it ready to become your next great competitive advantage?
Thanks for watching. We appreciate you. Check out the next video on this topic, or subscribe to our channel to keep up with our latest explainer videos, live webinars, and other insights into technology solutions.